Using a base mesh can speed up the creation of a sculpt in ZBrush. In this video, I use the same technique in Blender to create a skull base mesh. Before we begin, to navigate in Blender you either need a 3-button mouse or you need to emulate a 3-button mouse. To emulate a 3-button mouse, go to Edit, go to Preferences, select Input, and checkmark Emulate 3-button mouse. With emulation enabled, Alt-left mouse button or Option-left mouse on a Mac allows you to rotate. Scroll wheel allows you to zoom. Alt-Shift-left allows you to pan. You can also rotate, zoom, and pan using the gizmos on the right side of the viewport. When you start Blender, you'll see the splash screen. Click outside the splash screen and you'll see the default cube. Go to the File menu and then go to Sculpting. In the Sculpting workspace, you'll see some icons, but they aren't labeled. You can see what they are by either clicking Shift Spacebar or by using the left mouse button on the toolbar to the left. Click and drag on the right side of the toolbar to expand. To build a skull, we'll need the box mass brush. Scroll down in the toolbar to where box mass is and select it. We're also going to need to store some views. Go to the Edit menu, go to Preferences, select Add-ons. Type Stored in the search bar and activate Stored Views. Type N to bring up the right sidebar. Click on View and collapse all the options in the View pane. Expand the stored views. Click on Initialize and click on POV or Point of View. Click on Save Current and save as 3/4 view. Type numpad 1 and click Save Current, save as front view. Type numpad 3 and click Save Current, save as right side view. Saving these views makes it easy to switch back and forth while sculpting. Turn on symmetry by clicking on the X above the sidebar. Switch to right side view by clicking on the box in Stored Views. Use the box mask on the bottom right quarter to mask out the sphere. Type Ctrl-I to invert the mask. Select the grab brush to push the unmasked portion of the sphere upwards. Smooth it out with the Shift brush. Use the clip brush in front view to flatten both sides of the sphere. Notice that clipping in Blender is different from clipping in ZBrush. Blender cuts off the area selected, but ZBrush would cut off the area not selected. Clipping automatically creates new face sets in Blender. ZBrush's equivalent would be polygroups. Keep using the grab brush on the sphere until you have a basic skull shape. Use Shift to smooth, just like ZBrush. You can also select the smooth brush from the toolbar on the left. Use Voxel Remesh in the Object Data Properties panel to clean up the topology. This panel has a green triangle icon on the right side. Voxel remeshing preserves face set, texture painting, and other features of your mesh. This is similar to ZRemesher in ZBrush. Quad Remesh does not preserve features, it just converts the mesh to quads, sort of like Dynamesh. Use F and swipe right to increase your brush size. Use F and swipe left to decrease your brush size. This is like the S key shortcut in ZBrush. After creating the basic head shape, I begin using the draw brush and other brushes with the Control key to sculpt the eye sockets, the nasal cavity, the zygomatic arch, and other anatomical features. Holding down Control inverts the direction of your brush. If it added, it will subtract. If it subtracted, like Draw Sharp, it will add instead. This is like using the Alt key in ZBrush. I found that the hotkeys for the brushes didn't work consistently on my Mac, so I kept selecting them from the toolbar. Based on reference, I adjust proportions. I add a new 3/4 view to look at the sculpt. I make many adjustments, including shrinking the maxilla or jaw and flattening the face. Once I'm happy with the skull, I switch from sculpt mode to object mode. I click Shift A to add a cube. I use the multi-resolution modifier and the shrink wrap modifier to convert the cube into a sphere. I use the S key to scale in combination with the array modifier to ensure that the eye I'm creating is now 1/5 the width of the head. I use the mirror modifier to turn one eye into two. These modifiers can be found under the blue wrench icon. With Shift D, I duplicate the eyes to create ears. I then grab them using the G key to move them into place. I use Shift D on the eye to create the tip of the nose, and then use Shift A to add a cylinder to create the neck. I use the G, S, and R keys to grab, scale, and rotate. From the overlay panel at the top, I check that all the surfaces point outward and are not inverted. I duplicate the eyes 2 more times, and with the grab brush in combination with the boss mask brush, I convert the eyes into top lid and bottom lid for the eyes. Please like and subscribe.